do it with, because I have done that too. That done went and men and all that. So it's like, you gotta know who you being nice to, because it's like these right here, you out there feeling sympathy for them and wishing them the best, and these bitches will do it. That you ain't even realize them. You out here like a damn, she look like a nice girl. I feel bad for her. Like, it's like, let me think that, bitch, then you start being to be
Not
fuck you,
supposed
bitch.
to be kind of giggling at this, but it's how you're delivering it, and it's really throwing me off because it's not.
That like I don't like share, that people will be so surprised. There is a lot of things that I really don't share. Like I share certain things, but it's like I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like
Cardi B didn't just sip tea, she flipped the whole kettle straight onto the floor in her latest jaw-dropping reveal. She confessed that behind the scenes, she was the one sliding into other female rappers' DMs, giving them pep talks, hyping them up when the industry tried to crush them. Cardi said she wanted to build unity, not competition, but loyalty. That's not what she got back. Instead, she claims some of those very same women she supported went behind her back and messed around with her husband, Offset. Can you imagine the sting? And this is where Saweetie's name comes storming back into the chat, because fans never forgot the whispers linking her to Offset right after her messy breakup with Guavo in 2021. The internet dragged that rumor back into the spotlight the second Cardi opened her mouth, and now all eyes are on her. Cardi didn't drop names in her interview, but the timing, the receipts, and the street's memory are connecting dots real quick. She thought she was building sisterhood in rap, but instead, she's facing knives in her back from the very women she uplifted. Cardi wasn't just sending casual messages. She was sliding into inboxes saying, "Yo, I see you, I got you, keep pushing." That's major, because not every superstar at her level takes time to lift up the next wave. She was giving real love, real support when she didn't have to, but instead of getting love back, Cardi says she got stabbed in the back. And not just as an artist, but as a wife, because the drama wasn't random beef, it was Offset.
Out here, it's really tough out here. Like, shit is really rough out here for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I try to warn ya. Then it's like, oh, why y'all not speaking up? I tried to speak up last year. Like, I was trying to tell you, I said it in my speech. Like, I said it, everything that happened, I said it in my speech. And it's
the same Offset who's been caught up in cheating headlines before, the same man she forgave and took back after public scandals, the same man who's also the father of her kids. So when Cardi says these women used Offset to hurt her, she's not just talking about betrayal in the bedroom. She's talking about a calculated move. In her eyes, Offset wasn't even the prize. He was the pawn. That's why this bombshell feels so raw and explosive. This isn't just another story about a rapper's husband creeping around. We've seen that plenty of times. This is about women Cardi trusted, women she rooted for, flipping the script and using her marriage as a weapon against her. That's personal heartbreak, career sabotage, and public humiliation, all twisted into one knot of chaos. And now the story's being spun 100 different ways because everybody's got their own version of the truth. Cardi's angle. She's trying to flip the pain into wisdom, but the streets are busy rewriting the narrative in real time. In her interview, Cardi drew the line sharp and clear. "I used to help, I used to reach out, but not anymore. Lesson learned, period." She's painting herself as the wounded big sister of hip-hop, the one who gave love, offered support, and got betrayal in return. And it hits deeper than just cheating. This is about trust, about loyalty, about putting your faith in people who flipped it on you. For her fans, this image makes her look raw and relatable, like the girl who wanted to build a real sisterhood in rap but got clowned for even trying. She's telling the world, "I wanted unity and they gave me knives." That's the storyline her supporters are grabbing onto, and they're riding hard for her. Meanwhile, Saweetie's side is all about silence. No IG live denying it, no Twitter clapback, no diss track to set the record straight. Nothing. And silence itself is a strategy. To her fans, it's proof she's above the drama, unbothered, too busy glowing up to even acknowledge the mess. But to Cardi's camp, that silence is screaming guilt. They're asking, if it wasn't true, wouldn't she have shut it down by now? And then we got Offset stuck right in the middle again. Poor man stays looking like the pawn on everybody's chessboard. He hasn't said a word either, but the spin around him is predictable. Offset just being Offset, the reckless husband who can't keep it zipped. Cardi frames him as a weapon used against her, while Saweetie's silence makes it look like he was never the prize at all, just the middleman in a bigger game. At the end of the day, the fans are the real spin doctors. Team Cardi swears she gave her heart to the culture and got stabbed by fake friends, while Team Saweetie sees her as moving past the drama, too clean to even play into the noise. Now the internet's dragging Saweetie's name right back into the trending topics, digging up old rumors, screenshots, and dusty receipts. Team Saweetie is firing back hard, saying Cardi always plays the victim when everybody knows Offset is the real common denominator. And Offset's child? The memes got him looking like a chess piece, tipped over on the board with captions like, "Not the pawn again," "Fans are clowning," and the blogs are eating it up. And let's be real, the blogs don't care who's telling the truth. They're spinning it every which way just for clicks. One headline screams, "Cardi B exposes betrayal," while another flips it to, "Saweetie caught in Offset storm." Drama sells, and this messy love triangle is feeding the traffic for weeks straight. So the spins are locked in place. Cardi, the betrayed; Saweetie, the silent; Offset, the pawn; and the fans. They're the jury throwing judgment from every corner of the internet. The only problem is nobody's actually giving the full story because everybody's got something to protect, some image to save, some bag to secure. Out here, survival is the game and trust is a joke. And the reason this fresh scandal is hitting so heavy is because it's not happening in a vacuum. The history between these names is already filthy. The receipts go way back. Let's start with Offset. This ain't his first cheating headline, not even close. Back in 2018, he was all over the blogs after getting caught with Summer Bunny, the woman who broke down crying and apologized publicly for messing with a married man. Then came another bombshell. Jade Takashi, 6ix9ine's girlfriend at the time. Cardi herself was accused of sending people to a strip club after finding out Offset had been sliding into Jade's DMs. The mess has layers and the stains never washed out. And don't forget, the random leaked DMs and shady screenshots that always seem to pop up with Offset's name stamped on them. The man's got a whole track record of wandering eyes, so when Cardi even hints that another female rapper was creeping with him, the streets don't hesitate to believe it. They're like, of course he did. Look at the receipts. Now slide Saweetie into the frame. Her name first got tied to Offset back in 2021, right after her messy split from Quavo. That breakup was already a circus. Remember the elevator footage, the icy tweets, and all that drama? But when rumors started swirling that Saweetie hooked up with Offset behind the scenes, the internet went nuclear. Migos fans dragged her, accusing her of breaking family ties by stepping into Quavo's circle. Saweetie publicly denied it, but those whispers never really died down, and every time Offset's name pops up in new cheating chatter, that old rumor gets pulled back from the grave. Then there's the Cardi-Saweetie connection. On the surface, they played it cool. Fake smiles at events, polite mentions in interviews, but insiders swear there was never real sisterhood between them. Cardi allegedly kept her distance for a reason. Why? Because she never fully trusted Saweetie, whether it was industry politics, label competition, or just bad vibes that didn't mesh. Their friendship always looked more Instagram than reality. Put all of that together, and Cardi's new revelation doesn't sound like a random accusation. It feels like the missing puzzle piece in a long-running hustle. Offset's history screams he could have done it, and Saweetie's name being dragged back into the storm makes it look like the past just caught up with the present. Saweetie's past whispers prove her name was already tangled up in this mess long before Cardi's latest reveal, and deep down, people always knew Cardi's vibe toward her wasn't as warm as it looked on Instagram. The whole narrative is just too neat to ignore. And let's be real, Fustawi, this ain't the first time women in hip-hop got caught in messy triangles. From Nicki and Remy to Megan and Kelsey, sisterhood in rap is fragile at best. Throw men into the mix, especially men with Offset's messy record, and those cracks always split wide open. So when Cardi says she was out here helping female rappers, only to find one of them sliding into her marriage, the streets didn't just gasp. They said, yep, that tracks. Now, zoom out for a second, because Cardi versus Saweetie versus Offset isn't just rap drama, it fits right into a long Hollywood tradition of betrayal that always gets messy. Think back to Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Becky with the good hair. Lemonade shook the world because Beyonce, the most powerful woman in music, admitted her own husband betrayed her. And she didn't even need to drop the other woman's name. Just one lyric sparked a worldwide witch hunt that had everybody pointing fingers. That's the lane this Cardi Saweetie Offset scandal is rolling into. Powerful women exposing betrayal, faceless other women being hunted online, and men who keep falling back into the same tired patterns. The public loves it because it's messy, it's painful, and it's relatable all at once. Sound familiar? Cardi never had to drop Saweetie's name directly. The streets did it for her. And now Saweetie's silence is speaking louder than any clapback could. Think about it. This whole setup mirrors Khloe Kardashian, Jordan Woods, and Tristan Thompson. Jordan was like family, right? Then she got too close to Khloe's man. And when the truth spilled out, the entire internet split into teams overnight. One woman was painted as the betrayed, the other as the snake, and the man. Just reckless, messy, and ultimately a pawn uses the weapon to wound the real target. Doesn't that sound exactly like what's unfolding here? And even in rap, we've seen the same formula play out again and again. Remember Nicki Minaj versus Remy Ma? Their beef wasn't over a man, but the way the industry set them against each other followed the same playbook. It's always about power. Who gets to wear the crown? Who gets the spotlight? Who gets taken down a notch? Sometimes the quickest way to wound a rival isn't through music, it's by blurring the line between personal and professional. That's the framing Cardi is running with here. Offset was never the prize, never the end game. In her eyes, Saweetie allegedly used him like a chess piece, just a move in a bigger strategy meant to embarrass her and tilt her throne sideways. But here's the flip. Maybe Saweetie wasn't plotting at all. Maybe Offset was just doing what Offset always does, moving reckless, sliding into places he shouldn't, and leaving the women behind to deal with the wreckage. In that version of the story, he's not just the pawn, he's the chaos agent who sparks the fire and disappears while everyone else takes the heat. So maybe Saweetie isn't the mastermind after all. Maybe she's just another name tangled up in Offset's endless mess. And maybe Cardi, in her pain, is framing it as betrayal when the real game player here has always been Offset. But here's the catch. Cardi didn't say, "My husband betrayed me." She said, "These women I helped betrayed me." That choice of words matters big time. It shows exactly where she's aiming the blame, and it puts the spotlight right back on Saweetie. So whether Saweetie plotted behind the scenes or just got swept up in Offset's storm, the streets have already decided she played a role. And silence, that only makes it worse, because when you don't tell your side, you let everybody else write the story for you. So the real question is, what happens now? Because this love triangle isn't just some one-week headline. It's the kind of ripple that can stain reputations, shift careers, and shape images for years to come. For Cardi B, this feels like a major turning point in her journey. She started off raw and unfiltered, blew up into a superstar, and always wore realness like a badge of honor. Helping female rappers was part of that mission, and while she wanted to prove she wasn't just competing, she was building a sisterhood. But now, after this betrayal, she says that chapter is dead and buried. Her new legacy may not be the big sis of rap anymore. It might be the survivor who learned never to trust. And every single time she warns about snakes in the industry, this scandal will be Exhibit A, with Saweetie's name attached whether she likes it or not. This stain is not easy to wash off, even if Saweetie stays silent forever. Even if Offset was the one moving reckless, her name is now cemented in the mess. People won't just remember her as the icy girl or Quavo's ex anymore. They'll remember the Offset rumors. They'll remember Cardi's pointed words about women she helped betraying her. And while silence might make Saweetie look classy in the short term, in the long run, it risks locking her legacy to a scandal instead of her music. For Offset, the sad truth is his public image has become almost predictable. Fans don't even see him as the smooth-talking Migos star anymore, or as Cardi's ride-or-die husband. Instead, he's branded as the pawn, the man constantly used in messy storylines about betrayal, infidelity, and chaos. Cardi herself painted him that way, not as the mastermind, not even as the target, but as the chess piece other women allegedly move just to strike at her. And if that's the role his own wife puts him in, history might lock it in the same way. But zoom out, and the bigger picture here is about more than just 3 names. It's about the fragile idea of sisterhood in rap. For years, fans have begged for unity among female rappers, tired of the constant beefs, sneak disses, and industry shade. This scandal reopens that wound, proving that even when women in hip-hop try to come together, betrayal, real or perceived, can break the whole thing apart in seconds. And that's the heartbreak in all of this. The dream of sisterhood in rap keeps getting crushed under the weight of betrayal and competition. Fans wanted to see women rappers standing shoulder to shoulder, but instead, they're watching them get pitted against each other like gladiators in the arena. Every time unity feels possible, another messy triangle rips it apart. The blogs know it too, and they're milking it for every click. Headlines are turning Cardi into the betrayed queen, Saweetie into the silent suspect, and Offset into the eternal pawn. The narrative is already locked in place, and none of them even have to speak for the story to keep snowballing. That's the danger. Once the internet writes your storyline, good luck trying to rewrite it later. For Cardi, this might mark the moment she shifts into her Survivor era. No more big sis vibes, no more open arms for other women in the game. Every time she talks about snakes in the industry, people will point back to this scandal as Exhibit A. For Saweetie, the silence is classy, but it risks becoming a permanent shadow. Fans will always whisper about Offset when her name comes up. And for Offset, his legacy is locked as the chaos agent, the man who can't escape being painted as the pawn in somebody else's war. This isn't just a tabloid headline anymore, it's a case study in how fast reputations shift in the spotlight. Careers are on the line, sisterhood looks weaker than ever, and fans are left asking one question. In an industry this ruthless, is unity even possible? Cardi once tried to embody unity in hip-hop, but this scandal proves just how fragile that dream really is. If betrayal's always just one DM away, then maybe true sisterhood was never built to last. Maybe it was always just a dream sold to fans. And the irony, it's almost too sharp to miss. Cardi set out to protect the women in her lane, to lift them up in an industry designed to tear them apart. But in her own telling, that very kindness got turned into a weapon against her. She stepped into the role of big sis, only to learn the coldest truth. In the rap game, everybody's a rival until proven otherwise. Legacy-wise, the fallout is brutal. Cardi walks away hardened, no longer the wide-open big sis, but the survivor who trusts no one. Saweetie walks away shadowed, her silence leaving her forever tied to whispers she may never fully escape. Offset walks away branded not as the prize, not as the mastermind, but as the pawn of betrayal, the man forever moving reckless in somebody else's storyline. And the fans? They walk away, reminded of one harsh reality. In hip-hop, betrayal isn't the glitch in the system, it is the system. This saga is far from done, so make sure you hit subscribe to Juicy Reel, because when the next chapter drops, you'll want the tea first, raw and uncut.